Hello everyone, this is Mike with Budget Tech Reviews, and today is my first review video on the Google Nexus 5. Now let's start off with specs on this phone first. I just want to get it out there, that way you guys can know. This phone has a 5-inch IPS/LCD screen, and the screen resolution is 1080 by 1920 pixels. The PPI on this phone is 445, so very high contrasted phone. It looks really good, the screen, in my opinion. It's got light sensor, proximity sensor, and the glass is scratch resistant. It's Gorilla Glass 2 from what I know. Comes with Android 4.4 KitKat out of the box. It's the first phone to have KitKat, so if you guys are hardcore Android enthusiasts that want the latest and greatest version of Android, this is a must-buy for you. It's got an 8-megapixel camera with LED flash, and it's got optical image stabilization. So for those people that are into optical image stabilization, I still don't even know what that is. The camera's supposed to be good. I hear it has a really good HDR mode also, which I haven't tested. I haven't really messed too much with the camera, but going from there, it's got really good autofocus on the camera from what people tell me. On the front, it's got a 1.3 megapixel camera, which isn't that great, and I'll get more into that later on. The camera on the back can record 1080p HD video at 30 frames per second, and you can even turn on the light with the video, so if you guys are into that. This phone comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 SMM processor, and I'm stuttering here. It's a quad core just like the Nexus 4, although it's a different model, of course. So this one's a Snapdragon 800, which while the Nexus 4 had the Snapdragon S4 Pro, it's got an Adreno graphics processor at 330. It's got 2 gigs of RAM, just like the Nexus 4, 2 gigs of RAM, but this one is clocked at 2.3 gigahertz. On that instead of 1.5 gigahertz like the Nexus 4. So this is a 2.3 gigahertz, and let's take a look. The battery life, or the battery itself, is a 2300 milliamp battery. So for those who are thinking, this phone is awesome on battery life, first thing I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, the battery life is horrible on this phone, so I'll get more into that later. Okay, I've had this phone for a few days already. So this phone has a LTE band. It has you can run it off 4G, 3G, and 2G off T-Mobile's network, and if you run it on other networks like Sprint or AT&T, you probably get the same thing also. So depending where you live, it's gonna you'll get LTE or the HSPA plus, or just the regular 3G in some areas, and you got Edge in other areas. But going forward from the specs here, which a lot of you should already know, here's the lock screen itself, right? Typical lock screen. They didn't change much from the Nexus 4 and from Android Jelly Bean. You can add widgets and so forth. So, and by default, this is locked. So you have to change it into the security settings and uncheck the check the box so you can add widgets on the home screen. So let's get this started. Let's unlock it here, and right here you can see the battery is low, and I haven't charged it since a while ago. So bear with me here. As you can see here, it's got a 5-inch screen, as said. On the bottom, this is on the Nexus 4, if you're running Jelly Bean, it's going to be black, but on KitKat, it's kind of clear. But let's say when you start like an app, like let me open up a text there, you see how it turned black really quick. One thing I want to get out really quick is that okay Google, how tall is Britney Spears?
Britney Spears is 5 feet 4 inches tall.
Now, Google is trying to integrate Google Now more with their devices and more with this upgrade now. So this is my home screen right here. It's got a bunch of crap on it, right? And if you just swipe to the right, it's going to take you to this screen, which Basically gives you information pertaining to you, where you live, etc., the weather, and they want to integrate. I'm guessing Google wants to integrate Google now a little more than they did before. And I'm not too much of a fan of that. I hate this screen right here. I wish I could get rid of it, because there's no point of having this right here if it's on your home screen already. So there's no point of having those little quick shortcuts and all that if it's already going to be there. So, second thing, the layout for KitKat. Honestly, KitKat, it doesn't seem like a major improvement over Jelly Bean. All I can see the difference is that they basically they changed some icons, and I mean, like, the status bar up here is pretty much the same. Now up here, I actually set this up. This does not come with the phone. It's called Notification Toggle. You can download it off the Google Play Store, and you can set it up, the little toggles, the way you want them up there. So that, it doesn't change. Of course, if you have a Nexus device, you know that you can swipe down with 2 fingers, and of course it'll bring that down to you. And you can go to your settings from there and change the little different things like your Wi-Fi and etc. So let's go to the settings really quick. And as you can see here, it's pretty much identical almost to Jelly Bean, with a few differences. Like here, they added home. And if you have I guess another launcher that you want to set up, you can it'll show up down here. I haven't downloaded any other launchers because I wanted to see how the Google launcher handles, and so far it's okay. I like stock Android, but it doesn't really come with it doesn't really come with too many noticeable features that were changed. It's just pretty much got the same old stuff, your accounts. And let's go to About Phone, so you guys can see that this is running Android 4.4. Woo, Android 4.4, guys. And, of course, it gives you your system information, system updates, etc. Your accounts that you have your phone linked with, of course. Your language input. And let's take a look. Apps, battery, storage, display, home. Pretty much the norm that you would see out of any other Android phone. Like I said, all they did was add home and tap and pay, which this phone has NFC, which stands for near field communication. And if you have your Google wallet account linked with a credit card, you can pay with your phone wherever they have that service near where you live. So I don't know if that is relevant to any of you guys, but just so you know, that you can do that. This phone does have wireless charging capabilities. And one thing I did notice, and you see how it has a printing option down here. And let me go back there. It has a printing option. If you click that, it has Cloud Print and HP Print Service plugins. Now, when you turn the phone on for the first time, you're going to notice it's going to maybe install a few more extra apps. And it installs HP Wireless Print Service. Now, I get that they're trying to push the whole wireless thing, I guess, but I mean, in my opinion, not a lot of people are going to use the wireless print thing, just because, I don't see myself, writing and editing a paper on my phone, and then, of course, sending it to wireless printers. So from here, you can see that the transitions are really good, right there. And let's go to the browser really quick, and from there, I'm running on Wi-Fi, by the way. So as you can see here. Let's just exit out completely, and let's go to phonearena.com, and let's see how long it takes for it to load. So you can see there that it loads relatively quick on the Google Chrome browser here. Not having any issues as far as loading. As you can see here, pinch to zoom is really sensitive. On the Nexus 4, it was a little more delayed when it came to doing this. Spreading out your fingers like that. So, of course, it's very buttery out of the box. Now, one thing I did notice, and let me go to my little notepad here, is that when I first turned on the phone, I noticed a few things. The lack of system optimization. And what I mean that is, I don't think that this version of KitKat is optimized for this phone. A lot of people were saying that about the iPhone 5S, that they still noticed a little bit of stuttering, jank, whatever you want to call it, and I've noticed that with this phone, that from time to time it does have stuttering and jank. So the speaker quality on this phone, usually on most phones you'll find a speaker on the back or a speaker grill, but on this phone, and let me see if I can get that, the speakers are on the bottom. Now, I actually, when I took this out of the box, I was like, oh, you know, this is going to be good, because it's, to me, I was thinking to myself, this is going to be louder. And the speakers, when you play back video or anything, are not loud at all, guys. Now, keep that in mind, that, you know, this isn't one of those phones, you know, that is going to play loud music. So if you want to, you know, play a song for your friends or whatever, it's not going to happen, I guess. And they're not going to hear it. If you're in a loud area and you're trying to talk to someone on a speakerphone, it's just not gonna happen. And you know, what else did I put? I put slow delayed screen transitions. Now, this happened to me at the beginning when I had it, and I don't know if it was just a glitch or whatever, but I noticed that when doing certain things, I would get really slow screen transitions. Now, I'm not having much of an issue now with that as opposed to what I did back then, but I noticed there was small delays here and there that you could just notice. I mean, you can't notice right now, but I was getting those small delays, and I was like, wow, what the heck? Like, you know, for a brand new phone, I shouldn't be getting stutter out of the box the way I did. So and let's go back to what I was doing. The build quality of the phone, and let me talk to you guys about this. I think the screen I think the glass on the screen is a very nice screen, but compared to the Google Nexus 4, the Google Nexus 4's glass felt just a little better to me. It curved around the corners here, which I was a huge fan of. So now when you go like this, you can actually feel it instead of it going around the edges there. So that's one thing that I liked about the Nexus 4 that I don't like about the Nexus 5. I'm not a huge fan of the soft back here, but it makes it easier to hold. It makes the feel easier to hold in the hand. And if you get the white version, you're gonna get a shiny gloss on the sides, opposed to the black version. So keep in mind that the black version, the soft touch back wraps all the way around, while in the white version, the side has like a black glossiness, and then the back is completely white. So it's okay. I'm still, you know, indifferent about it. One thing I hated, and I'll tell you guys right now, is the physical buttons for the camera, for the volume and the power button. Now, when you put your finger across like this, you feel like it has like a sharp edge to me, and I feel like I'm gonna cut myself every time I touch the physical buttons here. So I wasn't too big of a fan on the Nexus 4. They blend in very well. They're very shiny and chromed out on the Nexus 4. These ones are kind of just plain and black. Right now you see a little shine, but that's just a reflection of the light, and they're pretty much just kind of dull and not really anything compared to the Nexus 4s. So build quality wise, I give this not that great of a score, even though people say that, you know, it feels like a high quality phone, and it is. It's a high quality phone, guys, but I mean, build wise, I thought they could have did a better job the way it was, I guess, you know, at least the edging around here to make it look a little fancier. I mean, this is the all black version, of course, and as you can see there, it just looks real dull, and it's just, you know, it's not my thing, I guess. I like to have a little bit of shininess and chrome. Let me show you the Nexus 4 to show you what I'm talking about. This is my Nexus 4, and this is the Nexus 5. And as you can see here, you can see that the Nexus 4 has a bit of shininess and a little bit on around the edging and stuff like that. And it's just something that I thought made the phone to stand out a little bit compared to just that. So, I mean, it's honestly, it's just preference, but I like this phone physically more than I like this phone. So, and going back, a few things that change in KitKat that you might not notice is the keyboard. Now let's just take a look at the keyboard. Of course, the Google keyboard still has swipe gestures, so you can say like, "Hey, what's up?" and stuff like that. And you can see that I typed it there. But they did change they changed the smiley face thing where you can add like various amounts of smileys, and you can't really change the way it looks. As said, and if you guys don't already know, Google is implementing Hangouts and connecting it with the SMS. So basically, your SMS is going to be configured with layouts. So basically, it looks almost the same, but you can, on your last conversation, you can swipe. It'll give you a little preview, and you can swipe to your right from your last conversation, and you can see what your last conversation was just by swiping to the right. Now let's going back here. I haven't activated the Google Voice keyboard yet, I guess, or the voice on the keyboard. So that's just one thing that they changed. And if you guys, let me go back to the settings here. Haven't noticed, if you guys have Jelly Bean or another version of Android, you'll notice that when you swipe up and it stops, it's a bluish color. On this, it's all white. Same thing as the swipe feature on the Nexus 5. The swipe is white, and I'm not a huge fan of the whiteness color, I guess. I don't know if that has anything to do with the version of Android it is, but I miss it being like a blue or a different color. It made it stand out a little more. As for the icons on top, they're all white instead of the bluish that you would get with the Nexus. I'm not too sure if you can change that in display. But nope, nothing. You can change the font size, of course, to normal, large to huge. And Daydream, font size normal. Wireless display off for that. But I guess, that's pretty much it for my first review on the Nexus 5, guys. If you have any questions, throw them in the comment box or hit me up on Google+. It's a really good phone for the price. In my opinion, still, I just hope that they work out the battery issue with the update that configures the battery to last a little longer, because that was one thing that I did not, and I was not a huge fan of. So I might get a few more videos out for the Nexus 5, guys, but there's probably so many out, so this is probably going to be my only one. So any questions that you have about this phone, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer in a timely manner. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe.